Hello everyone, this is Teacher Donna, and today we're going to discuss IELTS Writing Task 2. So the focus of our lesson today is writing an introduction. To start off, the exam skill focus in this lesson is first, to understand essay questions, second, build an introduction, and third, to understand thesis statements. So let's begin. In Academic Task 2 of the writing module, you are given brief details of an opinion, an argument, or a problem, and have to produce an extended piece of descriptive writing in response. For example, you may have to consider an opinion or weigh the pros and cons of an argument before presenting your own view on the matter. You may also have to discuss various aspects of a problem and then outline your ideas for solving it. The following are the common types of Task 2 essays. First, we have the personal opinion essay. We also have the discussion essay, and we have the explanation essay. I'm going to discuss with you how to write these types of essays in our succeeding lessons. Now let's take a look at the general structure of Task 2 essays. I think this is quite familiar with you because this is exactly the same structure that we are following whenever we are writing any kind of essay. So we have the introduction, we have the body paragraph, and we have the conclusion. Remember, in IELTS Writing Task 2, you are supposed to write about 250 words. So the number of body paragraphs actually corresponds to the number of words that you're going to write. So each type of essay question requires a different response and may need a different structure. This also means that each essay has features that build up the particular structure of the essay. So for example, we have personal opinion essay, discussion essay, and explanation essay. They are going to follow the same structure, but the way that you're going to write them and what should be included in each type of essay has some kind of differences. So we're going to discuss that later on. Like, what is the difference between writing an opinion essay and writing a discussion essay? Or how is a discussion essay different from an explanation essay? Using the correct structure will help you write a clear, coherent response and improve coherence and cohesion. However, you also need to have relevant ideas and will be assessed on how well you write these ideas. So if you go back to the structure, you have here body paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and 3. So if you remember our lesson in writing essays before, each idea corresponds to each body paragraph. So for example, you are asked to give your opinion. All right, so your reason to support your opinion, first reason will go to body paragraph 1. The second reason will go to body paragraph 2, and your third reason will go to body paragraph 3. So it's basically the same thing. All right, now let's move on to understanding essay questions. So we have here a sample essay question. I divided it into 3 parts, and let me read it for you. In many countries, women are doing jobs that men used to do. This change has brought a lot of benefits to society. To what extent do you agree? So there are 3 parts of the essay question. We have here instruction, we have here a topic, and we have the issue. Now, I want you to try to identify which among these is the topic, which is the instruction, and which is the issue. All right. So the first sentence is our topic, In many countries, women are doing jobs that men used to do. All right? Now, the second sentence is the issue. So, what is the issue? This change has brought a lot of benefits to the society. So, our topic is that women are doing jobs that men used to do. This is what we are talking about. Now, what is the problem about that? What's the issue? That this change has brought a lot of benefits to the society. Now, what is the instruction? What is it asking you to do? This is You have to be very critical when it comes to this because here you will know what kind of essay you are supposed to write. So here it's telling you to what extent do you agree? Okay, so that is the instruction. So what is it asking you to do? It's asking you whether you agree. To what extent do you agree with this issue? All right, so let's practice. Identify the topic, the issue, and the instruction in each of the following essay questions. The first one, an increase in tourism has had a significant effect on traditional society's way of life. Many people argue that this change has brought progress. Do you agree? Give reasons for your answer. The second one, many people worry about the effects of living alone. Others think that technology is replacing the need for living together. Discuss. So, on the first one, the first question, what is the topic? What are we talking about here? So, we are talking about the increase in tourism. Okay, so an increase in tourism has had a significant effect on traditional society's way of life. Now, what is the issue? What is the problem with this one? Many people argue that this change has brought progress. And what is the instruction? What is it asking you to do? Do you agree? Give reasons for your answer. So let's take a look. All right. So as you notice, usually it gives the topic. The first sentence is actually the topic. Now the issue is the second sentence. And the third sentence here is the instruction. So the same thing on the second one. Okay, let's try it some more. Population growth has been rapid in the last 50 years. This is causing high levels of unemployment. What can governments do to solve this problem? So what is the topic? What are we talking about here? That population growth has been rapid in the last 50 years. But what is the problem? This is causing high levels of unemployment. Now, what is it asking you to do? What can governments do to solve this problem? Did you get that? So, try the next one. All right, so here's the answer. Now, look at the essay questions in that activity again. How are they different from each other? Let's take a look. So how are they different? They are different in the instruction. That's why I told you earlier, you have to be very critical when it comes to identifying the instruction. Because if you fail to identify the instruction, then everything else will go wrong. Because, for example, it is asking you to write an opinion, and you wrote a discussion essay, then it's already wrong because you are asked to write an opinion, but you wrote discussion. So that's why it is very important that you know how to identify the instruction. All right. So if you don't understand the instruction, you will not be able to answer the question properly. That's why it is very important. All right, so read the essay questions again for that activity And let's answer the questions given here. The first question is, which question asks for both sides of an argument? Number two, which question asks you to make suggestions? And number three, which questions ask you to give your own opinion? So the first one, two sides of argument. The second one, suggestion. The third one, opinion. Let's take a All right, so you just have to take a look at the instruction. The first one, do you agree? The second one, discuss. The third one, what can government do to solve this problem? And the fourth one, to what extent do you agree? All right, so the first one is asking you to give an opinion because it's asking you, do you agree? The second one, it says discuss. See, if you take a look at the second one, the topic is many people worry about the effects of living alone. The issue, others think that technology is replacing the need for living together. You actually have two sides there, but it's not asking you whether do you think the effects of living alone is good or bad. It's not like that. It's asking you to discuss both sides of the issue. So this is discuss. The third one, what can governments do to solve this problem? So it's giving you, or it's asking you to give your suggestion. What do you think the governments can do? And the fourth one, to what extent do you agree? So again, it's asking you whether you agree and to what extent. All right, so let's proceed to task descriptions and essay types. All right, the first one, you must present two opposing sides of an argument. Okay, so two opposing sides. So let's proceed to task descriptions and essay types. So in a discussion essay, you have to present two opposing sides of an argument. So you will have these cues, all right? So these instructions like discuss both views. So you have to present the two sides. What are the advantages and disadvantages? So it means you have to discuss both advantages and the disadvantages. Now, for personal opinion, you have to give your opinion and your reasons to support your opinion. Now, the instructions that are common for you to identify that you have to write an opinion is give your opinion and support it, or do you agree or disagree, or to what extent do you agree. And the third one, for explanation, you need to explain something with your own ideas. So usually it's asking about what problems are associated with, what can governments do, what do you think are, so what can you suggest? So these things you have to explain with your own ideas. Now, let's proceed to building an introduction. Look at the essay here. Essay question, an increase in tourism has had a significant effect on traditional society's way of life. Many people argue that this change has brought progress. Do you agree? Now, this is an example of an introduction for this essay question. The rise in tourism has had a great impact on many parts of the world. But has it had a positive effect on development? This essay will argue that the change is actually progress. So let's take a look at the essay question again. Now try to identify what is the topic. So this is the topic. An increase in tourism has had a significant effect on traditional society's way of life. What is the issue? Many people argue that this change has brought progress. Now, what is the instruction? Do you agree? So for the introduction, how can you compare the introduction with the essay question? Did you notice any similarities? Okay, in the introduction, you have to tell your reader what the rest of essay is about. The introduction should also answer the essay question. So we actually have two parts of the introduction. We have the background statement, where it introduces the topic and the issue by rephrasing the essay question statement. And you have the thesis statement, wherein you have to write your opinion, or wherein you have to tell the readers what you are going to do. All right? So are you going to tell your opinion? Are you going to discuss something? So that is your thesis statement. Okay, so let's look back at the essay question in the introduction. How is it written and what does it contain? Okay, so I put them in different colors for you to identify the similarities. Okay, so in our question, an increase in tourism has had a significant effect on traditional society's way of life. Going to introduction, the rise in tourism has had a great impact on many parts of the world. All right, see that? Many people argue that this change has brought progress. But has it had a positive effect on development? Progress, positive effect. Do you agree? This is the instruction. So I told you the thesis statement should tell the readers what you are going to do. Okay? This essay will argue, because it asks you, do you agree? So here you have this essay will argue that the change is actually progress. Did you get that? So, to summarize, how to write the introduction of an opinion essay, okay? Because let's focus on the opinion essay as of now. First, you have to give a background information. That's the topic. Second, you have to paraphrase the issue. All right? So again, you have to refer back to your question, because the question will actually tell you everything. And write your thesis statement, which is your opinion. Okay, you have to tell them what you're going to do. You can tell them that you're going to argue that this is right or this is wrong, whether you agree or you disagree. Okay. So do you see the difference and the similarity? Okay, now let's try to match the thesis statement with the essay questions that we saw earlier. So here the first one, this essay will discuss both sides of the issue. The second one, this essay will argue that the change is actually progress. C, this essay will suggest that it is the responsibility of individuals, not government. And D, this essay will outline the main ways that the issue can be dealt with. So let's take a look at the question. So the first one, an increase in tourism has had a significant effect on traditional society's way of life. Do you agree? Give reasons for your answer. Okay. So we have here, this essay will argue that the change is actually progress. Now, number two, just look at the instruction. It says discuss. So, it's the first one. This essay will discuss both sides of the issue. Now the third one, what can governments do to solve this problem? So we have here this essay will outline the main ways that the issue can be dealt with. Okay, and the last one, unemployment causes many problems in society. Government should provide jobs and income for everyone. To what extent do you agree? Okay, so we have here, this essay will suggest that it is the responsibility of individuals, not government. Okay, so which two thesis statements on the previous slide include the writer's opinion? So let's take a look. All right, so it's actually letter B and letter C, okay? Will argue and will suggest. So let's practice. Write an essay introduction for the question below. The rise in people living alone is causing negative changes to society. To what extent do you agree? So first, let us identify the parts of the question. Okay, so the rise in people living alone is causing negative changes to society. To what extent do you agree? Maybe you'll tell me we only have 2 sentences here. Earlier, we saw 3 sentences in the question. All right, but now we have 2 sentences. So again, see, I put them in different colors, so you will still be able to identify what is the topic, what is the issue, and what is the instruction. So the topic here is people living alone. It's about people living alone, okay? Or the rise in people living alone. Now, what is the issue? What is the problem with people living alone? The rise in people living alone is causing negative changes to society. So still we have the topic and we have the issue. It's just not in separate sentences, but in this one sentence, we have the topic and the issue. Now, what is the instruction? To what extent do you agree? So this type of instruction is telling you that you have to write your opinion. So again, let's convert your topic, your issue, and the instruction. So this is your background information. What's the background about your topic? What can you say about the topic? Like right now, how are you going to relate your topic to the present situation? So nowadays, a lot of people choose to live by themselves. See, people living alone. So you are actually rephrasing it. Some people say that solitary living has bad effects to the society. So living alone, negative changes, bad effects. See? Now, because this is an opinion, your thesis should say what you are going to do. So this essay will argue that living alone is actually good. So we have an introduction. And that's the end of our lesson today. The references I used to prepare this presentation is Foundation IELTS Masterclass by Nick Thorner and Louis Rogers and www.ielts-writing.info. And don't forget to visit my website, teacherdonna.tk. Till our next lesson, bye-bye.